Hi, my name is Ashish, and in this video we will see an attack simulation for Microsoft Defender for Endpoint PowerShell script in Fileless attack. We'll cover a few other scenarios as well. I am doing this before showing you the how to manage incidents in Microsoft 365 Defender, because when I'll do a simulation, I'll see the demo incidents alerts in the Microsoft 365 portal because I have this lab set up. This is not a production or a working environment. So I have to do this simulation before we look for the incident and alerts. So let me give you a background. So how does detection philosophy work for Microsoft product team who has created this 365 Defender? They have made sure that known advanced persistent threat, which is APT, indicators or technique are visible in the telemetry, that they recognize them, and that they are able to raise the relevant alerts, right? So when there is an alert near real time, they provide the relevant context, including actor attribution, their victimology, geo-affinity, the main tactics. And this is realized through a rich dynamic library of known attack indicators, including known threat components on real devices, script, web page snippets from compromised or malicious websites. Some of them are IPs, URLs, some of them are malicious domains, which represents the attacker's infrastructure. And Microsoft keeps updating their library with new threat intelligence generated mainly by Microsoft own APT hunting, which is advanced persistent threat, and research teams. We all know that threats are constantly being crafted and modified. That's why Microsoft monitor a large set of anomalous and suspicious behavior to find new and unknown actor activity. These anomalous and suspicious activities raise alerts for the SOC analyst to validate and address with the help of information about proximate events on the same device and other relevant devices. SOC team can validate actual breach activity, determine risk, establish the scope of the breach, define containment activities, and then contain, mitigate, and fully respond to the attack. So let me log on to the portal, install the simulation script, and then show you the scenario. Right, so I will follow this attack. So in this scenario, we move up a notch to more sophisticated attack that leverage advanced techniques to stay under a detection radar. This category of attacks usually doesn't include file drops on the victim device. They occur solely in the memory. They live off the land by using only existing system and administrative tools and injecting their code into system processes. In the simulation scenario, we start with a PowerShell script. The user may be tricked into executing such a script, or the script may be executed remotely from other device in the organization that was previously infected, with an attacker attempting to move laterally in the network. So during the simulation, attacker goes on to inject some shell code into a seemingly innocent process, in this case notepad.exe. We choose this process for the simulation, but attackers will more likely target a long running system processes like svc host.exe. The shell code then goes on to contact the attacker's command and control server to receive instructions. Right, this is I have configured the device to run the simulation. Machine is already onboarded. This is the test machine that is onboarded. I will connect to this machine using the RDP file. Okay. It is connecting to my test machine that is already onboarded. I'm getting logged in. All right. Looks good so far. Okay. Now what we have to do is I have to run this simulation. So I'll go back to the documentation. Okay, I'll just copy the simulation script. And I'll go here. I'll open up the PowerShell. I'll run it as an administrator. I'll paste the script. Let me wait a second. Script is pasted. I'll execute it. It will need some time. Notepad is open. It says a shell code was just injected to this process. If your OS build is this or higher, then keep this window open to see auto IR in action. Otherwise, feel free to close this window. Go here. Okay. Now, congratulations. We are done running the attack. Now, the attack simulation ends here. A real attacker, if successful, would likely continue to scan for information, send collected information to a command and control server, and use this information to move laterally onto other devices, right? Now, alerts would take 15-30 minutes after the simulator backdoor is launched. So if I've done, I'll just close it, right? Enter it. Now, if I go back to the portal here, I'll go back onto the portal. If I go for incidents or alerts, I'll see there are no alerts yet. So it takes around 15-30 minutes because this is a simulation. This is not real time. I have to wait. Okay, let me just pause the video and come back. Okay, I'm logged on to the portal now. My secure score is loading. Identity, data, device, apps. We can see how we can improve the secure score. Devices inactive. One device is at risk, which is test machine 1, on which I have just simulated the attack. If you would see, you can see the devices as well. But if I go on alerts now, these are the alerts, right? If you would see here, now investigate the attack as a single incident, right? So Defender for Endpoint applies correlation analytics and aggregates all related alerts and investigations into one incident entity. By doing so, Defender for Endpoint narrates a broader attack story, following the SOC analyst to understand and deal with complex threats across the organization with the right visuals. The alerts generated during this simulation are associated with the same threat and as a result are automatically aggregated as a single incident. So if I show you the incident now, right, multi-stage incident involving execution and discovery on one endpoint, you would see those. And if I see the corresponding alerts, suspicious process injection observed, unexpected behavior observed by a process ran with no command line argument, suspicious process. So you will see a lot of alerts. So if I click on any one alert, on what devices, suspicious behavior by SVC was observed, PowerShell.exe, PowerShell executed a script, suspicious application window discovery, and now if I go to the incident, you click on this. Now if you would see the incident, you click on this, loading incident, multi-stage incident involving execution and discovery on endpoint. You can assign it to yourself or to anyone else in the team. This is the administrator. Active alerts in this incident, which are medium, low and high. Comments, and you click on manage incidents, then you can assign it to. I'll show you that in another video how to manage incidents, but let's just see the simulation for now. Suspicious behavior by SVC was observed. This is your incident graph. If you will see, this is the name, this is the IP, these are two IPs. You click on it, you can view the two IPs, you can make a note of these IPs as well, and then you can see the association. This is one IP you're seeing, and if you just click on fit to screen, you would see this option, the 4 processes. You can check each and every process, the execution details, the none malware detected here. You can close it. You can look for again 4 processes. You can go for notepad.exe. It will show you malware detected none, and you can check other processes as well. After seeing this incident graph, and you can, after seeing the incident graph, you can go for active alerts associated with this incident. You will click on here. It will show you the alerts, and if I go to the alert again, you would see the details here. Classify alerts. Alert state is not set. Assigned, it is not assigned to anyone. These are the entry name, which under is suspicion. A suspicious behavior by SVC was observed, as mentioned. Now, if you see suspicious process injection observed, if you see that alert, right, and you scroll down, a process abnormally injected code into other process. As a result, unexpected code may be running in the target process memory, right? Now, advanced attackers will use more sophisticated and stealthy methods to persist in memory and hide from detection tools. One common technique is to operate from within a trusted system rather than a malicious executable, right? To allow the MySecurity personnel or SOC personnel to catch such advanced attacks, deep memory sensors in Defender for Endpoint provide our cloud service with unprecedented visibility into a variety of cross-process code injection techniques. Now, if you will see below, you would investigation ID impacted. See here. Let's load the investigation. Okay. Now, you see the investigation graph. It says this is the machine which is faulty. There is one correlated alert. Alert suspicious process injection observed. Entities analyzed. This much files, this much processes, services, drivers, IP addresses, persistent method. 2 entities found. It will load the entity. So now when you see 2 entities found, it says one of them is notepad.exe, another is PowerShell.exe. So we all know we ran this simulation. We executed that script in PowerShell, and that injected the virus or faulty code through notepad.exe. Okay. Same way you can look for the EDR source as well. Now, if you go to the another alert in here, if you will close it, this one, you scroll down, it is linked to this automation. See the recommendation, what it says on the alert page. Maximize, suspicious behavior, click on here, and if you will scroll down, which is similar IP, see in timeline as well, it is the execution of the command. If you this in the alert story, it also shows you the outbound connection details, right? So if you would click on this additional details, and you click on this IP, it will give you the details about this IP as well. What is the domain name? You can also view the domain page. Threat intelligence verdict is providers, no threat intelligence verdict. Domain name is this, registered on dates, registered contact. And you can click on devices. One device on the date. This is the device name. And we will see all the details here as well. And then you can check device details next to the attack story as well. Now, if you would expand some of more interesting entities in the attack story, useful details like all the, okay, if I go back to the attack story, here, if I click on alert again, and this is my alert story, you scroll down, unexpected behavior you would see here, if you see in here, and then it says some of the attack stories provide more useful information as well, which specify that okay, there was a script inspected by AMSI, so outbound connection from this to this was made. You can check the IP as well. PowerShell exe executed a script, SQL injection was done into the address space. You can see what caused this issue as well. Now, if you want to resolve the incident, now that you have completed the investigation and and you have confirmed to that okay, this activity is done, was legitimate or not legitimate, you can open up the incident after confirming with your team. Click here, manage incident, and then you can mark it resolved or not, and then you can set the classification as well, right? True positive or a false positive. We'll look how we can manage incidents in Windows 360, Microsoft 365 Defender. So this is one of the simulation I wanted to run with you guys. I hope this was informative for all of you. If you have any further queries, please mention them in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Have a good day.